Johnny was a kid in the California school system at around the time when there was a major standards change going on, and his parents didn't care about his education enough to actually stay informed with the standard change, and when he ended up struggling, they couldn't help him, and he ended up dropping out. As possible parents in the future, you don't want to have your child end up dropping out at a young age, like Johnny did before he graduated from high school. You want them to succeed in life, and a way you can do that is by learning the standards that your child is going to be applied to, and learning what they're going to learn as a result. The Michigan Department of Education said that actually studies upon studies have proven that parental involvement in their child's education improves the chances that they're going to graduate and improves the grades that they are going to have in school. As such, this is going to be important to you. My speech is going to be important to you in that way. It's going to help you become better parents by being able to help your kids in school. In addition, this is important now because there's a new system that's going around, a new set of standards. It's called the Common Core, and it's being applied to a large majority of the states in the United States. In fact, California is one of the states that is upholding the new Common Core system and is currently integrating it into the standards as we speak. Now, this speech is going to be informing you about that Common Core system and the standards and what your child is going to be learning in their educational careers. So, I'm going to start by teaching you 3 things. The first standard is going to be the math standard, the second is going to be the reading standard, and the third is going to be the writing standard. So now that I've started you off with what the standards I'm going to inform you about are going to be, let's start with what the math standard is. Now, the math standard starts in kindergarten, and it's going to be mostly rather basic stuff, but it's also going to be a bit more than what you thought kindergartners would be learning at your child's level. Your kindergartners are going to be learning basic number placement and other such things like that. In addition, well, they are going to be expected to count at least up to 19, know the number placement of 1 and 9 means 19. And they're going to be exposed to addition and subtraction so that they'll be able to move it into those things in 1st and 2nd grade. Now, it's going to progress so that your child will be able to start working on multiplication and division in their 3rd and 4th grade years, and by 5th grade they're going to also progress into decimals and fractions. Now by 6th and 7th grade and 8th grade, of course, they're going to be moving into the core part of the subjects they're going to be learning in math. For example, algebra, geometry, and statistics, and those such things. And they're going to be using the base of education that they learned in elementary school to do that. In addition, as they get into high school, they're going to be using what they learned in junior high level, 6th through 8th grade, to work what they learned into a more workable environment, into the real world. They're going to learn how to apply that knowledge, and they're going to be able to use that in future that they are going to work with, for example, college. And that's the most of what the math standard is. Now, well, I taught you about what the math standard is. Let's talk about the reading standard for a bit. So now, with the reading standard, your child at kindergarten is going to be working more or less in a group environment. They're going to be, while they're expected to be able to read, they're going to be expected at that level to be able to do stuff, read in a class environment. They're expected to have the teacher to help them out a bit. They're not expected to do this on their own. And the California education system states that, the California Department of Education states that on their website, that at that age, the students, when prompted by the teacher, should be able to identify information from the text. However, it's going to be really basic stuff. But when they move into the higher levels, for example, 5th grade, by 5th grade, they should start being able to analyze the text. They should be able to be a lot more independent. They don't really need to have the teacher help your child to read And at that level, they should be able to do it rather independently in regards to their level of literacy and literature. In addition, your child at that time will be able to quote from the text and use it in analysis and other such things. And as they advance to 6th grade, this is going to grow a bit more, but they're similar to what they learn in 5th grade. And it's going to be the same as it's going into 7th grade and 8th grade, but with 8th grade it gets even more advanced in that they're learning how to relate themes in the story to how the story develops and what the story is as a result. In addition, they're going to be looking at the quotes that they use, and your child at that time will be able to check the strength of the quotes they're using in analyzing their texts when writing papers and stuff like that. Now, when your child reaches 9th through 12th grade, they're going to be working with stuff that is of a much higher level. They're going to be working with literature at what you would expect at high school level, and they will be doing things and related to deep text analysis. They're going to be looking much more deeper into, for example, how dialogue affects character development and other such things, including the writer's intent behind what they're writing as a part of the text analysis. Now, in addition, they're going to be, at that time, expected to be able to cite sources effectively from the internet, articles that they're reading to support their analysis. And that wraps up mostly what is the reading standards. So now that I've finished talking to you about the reading standards, let's go a bit into what the writing standards are. Now, as your kindergartner goes into kindergarten, of course, they're not going to be doing as much really advanced stuff at that level. They're going to be expected to do a bit of dialogue with their writing. They're maybe even expected to draw a bit with what they write. And it's very opinion-based at that level. Now, as they advance through elementary school, your child is going to be developing their organization with their writing skills. And by the time they reach 5th grade, they're going to be very, very proof-based by that point. They're going to be cutting out opinions from their work, although they will be focusing on adding proof into it. And by 5th grade, they're, as with the reading section, they're going to be working with putting in quotes. And by the time they reach 6th grade, they're going to be adding in, doing research as within 5th grade, and they're going to be working on research for most of the rest of their careers in their education. And as they work their way up into 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they're going to start becoming a lot more independent with how they write. They're going to start developing their own style, and they're going to be developing what type of quotes they use and how effectively they can be used, in addition to working them into their essays. Now, by the time they reach high school level, they're going to start working their quotes a lot more effectively. They're going to be working strong quotes to support their research. They're going to be also doing effective writing on their own time, at their own pace, of course, within time constraints. And they're also going to be working on how effectively they can use quotes with citing, online citing, of course. And they're going to be doing, at that level, long research reports, just setting up for college. So, with that done, I informed you about several standards of the Common Core. I informed you about the reading standard, the writing standard, and the math standard. So now that you've been informed about what the Common Core is, you can probably take this information, help your child when in the future they're going to be going to the school system, and at that time they'll be able to do their best because you're there to help them and you know what they're doing because you know the standards that they're being applied to. Thank you.